everybody.
I'm Cameron.
And I'm Zach.
And this is the
Watching You Watch podcast. This is Game of Thrones time.
It is Game of Thrones time. Wow, Zach, we are over halfway through season 2.
Yeah, they decided to let the sad drop.
Okay. I mean, okay.
My favorite beard is dead.
It's not Ned Stark, though. That's what I'm still trying to say to you.
But my favorite beard is dead.
But it's not Ned Stark.
And dragons.
Okay. We clearly have a lot to talk about this episode. So if you've been following along with us, we are in season 2 of Game of Thrones. We just watched episode 6, entitled The Old Gods and the New. Doesn't really have a lot to do with what's going on in this episode, I feel like, that title. A little bit, maybe? I don't know.
Who knows?
There's just, like Zach said, there's a lot of stuff going on that's a lot of the sad dropping.
Well, yeah, because, like, the people you like are just getting pooped on.
I mean...
Well, except for Joffrey.
Joffrey got literally pooped on.
And that was okay.
Yes.
But then everything went to garbage.
Yes. So, Zach, why don't you... as per usual, recap us.
Oh, boy.
There's going to be a lot of unpleasant things to recap.
Well, there's just a lot of things that happen. Like, there's all the buildups that's been kind of happening, like people moving around certain places. It's going, well, I guess I have to stick to character because otherwise it's going to get too disjointed.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
So Jon Snow is out there and just not getting anything, and he manages to not kill a wildling.
Yeah, because she's a girl.
Because she's a girl, and she's all like, "You're a stinking nerd." He's like, "No, I'm not." Now,
and then she's like, "You've never killed a girl before," and he's like, "Have to." And then she's like, "Yeah, right."
And then she runs, and it's like literally play school stuff, and it's like, "Man, oh, I caught you, tag, you're it." And then it's like I get Big Spoon, and she was forced into the most awkward like spooning situation, which she milked.
Yes. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Egret's pretty neat.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of wildling power in this episode.
It's the first time we've really interacted with a wildling as a character, really. Like
there's drugged out Frodo Baggins.
There is her, but we're really interacting with a wildling in their natural habitat.
Wow.
For lack of a better word.
Way to make them sound like people, Cameron.
Okay, so keep going.
But yeah, jumping from one wildling to another, we go back to Winterfell, where like immediately as soon as the episode starts, it's all like, "Oh yeah, remember that like wave here, the Greyjoys?" And I was like, I took your castle bran flakes," and he's like, "No way, man." And he's like, "Yeah, I did." And he's like, "Okay."
Yep, I love that. It's like this awkward, like, "Hey, Theon's back."
And it's like, "I took your castle."
He's conquering us.
It's like, "I'm conquering you." No, you're not. And it's like, "Yes, I am."
Yes.
There's a whole lot of like what I felt like were. I don't know. I mean, the dialogue in this is great, but a lot of them boil down to it's like, "Yes, this is happening." "No, it's not." "Yes, it is." "Okay, it is."
Yeah, I agree.
But basically, he takes Winterfell with not a lot of pomp and circumstance, other than he kills Neckbeard.
Yeah, he kills. And
Neckbeard. McMaester is all like, he sends the Raven to Robb. That's like, "We're boned. Hashtag here are the Lannister." Like, no, here are the Greyjoys.
It's Greyjoys. Yep.
See, he probably had to etch that out because he's so used to the other one.
So used to the other one.
And I don't know. But basically, it culminates in Theon being all like, "Wow, she has boobs, and I'll give her freedom." And she's like, "I got you, you nerd."
Yeah.
Murders his guard, as can be expected, and saves Bran Flakes with Hodor and the dogs, which are pretty much the only people that mattered in there.
Osha plays him like a fiddle.
Oh, that's like her name?
Fiddle, Osha.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, I still refer to her as drugged out Frodo Baggins.
Please don't stop.
But yeah, I don't know. I love her as a character, and she's just very interesting because her, like she says, she's very true, and she says she always picks who will help her best survive. And I feel it's so interesting that she chooses Bran Flakes because she is so real in that, and she sees more in the Starks than the Greyjoys, which is also great because Neckbeard's last words are like, "Well, you pretty much effed up, Theon. May the gods have mercy on you." And he's all like, "Yeah. Oh, there's the clean cut."
Yeah, it takes them forever to get it. That's the worst part of it. I think out of all the deaths we've seen so far up to this point, and I feel like it's just such a it's one of the worst ones for me, honestly,
Yeah.
because it's just not clean. Like, there's no...
Well, everything about it. I mean, it's just
There's
like
no
he betrayed
dignity to
him
it at all.
Yeah. He was goaded into it by his people. The Maester made a great point. It's like, listen, the Starks will pay out the nose for this. You can have so much advantage for this, but oh my gosh, he's an idiot that lives in the moment, and it's terrible for him.
Yes.
I don't know, man. Theon
done good.
I don't understand how he can keep on becoming a bigger sleaze. He's getting up there with Joffrey, and that's kind of terrifying.
It is, isn't it? Okay, so let's move on. Who else do you want to recap?
Well, let's see. Other than that, we'll go to Lannister's time. Lannisters in King's Landing are sending off Cersei's one daughter, and she's all like, I hope you love something so I can take it away. And
Tyrion's like,
then Tyrion's just
okay.
like, all right, well, it's a good thing you guys ripped out my heart at like age 4. And he walks away. And then there's poop slung at Joffrey, which is my highlight. And then there's like crowd mob murder, almost rape. And the dog is still such a great character.
Yeah, the hound saves Sansa in the most bizarre, like, touching sort of thing.
It's like, really weird because you can tell he's not a terrible person. He just has to be around the worst garbage person in the entire, like, whatever the entire world is. It's not just Westeros.
Yeah.
It's whatever the world is.
I mean, come on, no one would really want that job, in all honesty. Like, being Joffrey's, like, right hand, like, manservant / murder knight.
Basically being the murder knight. And he's just gotten so, like, you can tell he's just gotten so cold to the idea of killing. He's like, all right, okay.
Yep,
now let's go. Let's go, little princess.
Yep.
Let's go, little bird, which was adorable.
Yeah, he called her little bird. It's unexpectedly tender.
Yeah.
It's really strange. So, yeah, I agree.
And that's like pretty much the big things for them, other than Sansa basically knows you can fight in Shay, and that's really neat. That's great. So,
and then Shay's like, you need to be very careful about who you say things that are anti the king around.
Yes, but I don't know. That was good. I mean, it's funny because there's a lot of like little shortcuts and like little scenes in this that meant a whole lot.
Yes, I agree.
Let's see. In the Rob camp, he's following espionage spy nurse.
Oh, Talisa.
Yeah.
Talisa Mygear.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, who knows if that's her real name? Who can say? Except his mother is just all like, that's great. She's nice.
She sees right through it.
But you have a duty. And he's like, duty. And she's like, no, seriously, get your head out of that game, Rob.
Yes. You are supposed to marry a potentially ugly woman from the phrase.
Another one of my favorite things in that scene, I literally thought that there was someone on horseback behind Katniss, but it was just Bray.
it was just Brienne standing back there being all like imposing.
Just like, I just didn't like, literally I thought it was like some squire on a horse. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's her. That is awesome.
Yes.
And she's so my favorite. Like, she didn't do anything in that scene other than stand there.
I don't think she had a line of dialogue in the whole
and she
episode.
was still my favorite.
Yeah, she's great. I love her.
Yes. And let's see. Other important things, I guess, let's just jump over the pond.
Oh, yes. Daenerys.
To Daenerys, who's all, she's throwing a lot of royal tantrums. And she's like, I have dragons. And everyone's like, that's great. We worked for what we got. You gotta, make yourself look like a smart business transaction. And the doop-a-doo-doop-a-doo-doo is all like, yeah.
Long story short, no one gives her a ship.
Yeah, well, I was trying to say his name. It's basically like, you think you're going to get your stuff without getting your hand dirty.
You have to remember the nickname you gave him. That one was too good.
No, I won't say it because I'm embarrassed.
You won't say Dextrous Couscous?
No.
Why not? You say Cersei every week.
Because it gets to you. See, you like that nickname, so I can't use it.
Darn it. Dextrous Couscous was one of the good ones.
That's too bad. You get nothing. And then she's all like, where are my dagrons? And they killed my best friend. This is the worst quinceañera ever. And then there's just like backpack guy that's like, I have dragons. I'm
dying of her worst quinceañera ever. Oh,
I don't know. She didn't have a good day because Mr. Spiceman's all like, you're not getting my ships. it's pretty much just he simpered and talked grammar with her, and she was just like, man, I get enough of this from book.
Okay, so is there anything else that you're trying to that you wanna recap?
What else is important?
I think Arya might be the only other one.
That was incredibly terrifying because she's still keeping Tywin someone in the dark, and I love the interactions between her and Tywin. I think that it's super awesome. And then she sees Baelish coming, and she's like, she's like, oh crap. And the thing with it is Baelish knows, but he didn't say it.
Do you?
I don't know.
It's like every time he got a chance to figure it out,
he kind of didn't, because like Tywin would say something important, but I don't know. I honestly think that he has, and it's going to be something that comes up later. And like, oh darn it, we thought she got off the hook. And also she calls in her favor real quick, which I think was one of
she talks to Jaqen, and she's like, I'm getting chased. Go kill that guy.
And he's like, this man cannot do it on his time schedule. He's like, no, now.
She's like, kill him.
And she's like, yeah, it was pretty great, because I was like, oh no,
it's literally smash cut to that guy falling down.
The illiterate commander.
Yes, the illiterate commander.
General Dunce-a-lot. Poor guy. This is a PSA for you kids. Learn how to read, or you get a blow dart to your neck.
Wow. Yeah, that's going to be the new campaign.
This has been a helpful, service announcement from useful NPCs.
I'm going to hang that poster right next to my hang in there cat poster.
I want to make a hang in there dire wolf poster, and they're going to be hanging off of Joffrey's neck.
Oh, that's a nice picture.
I like it. It makes me happy. It gets me through the work week.
Okay, so I want to go back and talk about this, because there's so much to talk about.
The only other thing that was sort of a theme that I'm liking is that certain people are having dreams that are coming true, and I think that's neat, because it's like Bran and Daenerys are having these dreams, and they're like 100% coming true, and it's like, whoa, man, the resurgence of magic is faux rizzle.
Yes, more on that later, because I do want to talk about that.
Okay, that's the only other thing that I can be a competent viewer and listener. Look at this, listeners, I did it.
But I want to go back and talk about the Greyjoys a little bit here. I know it's not pleasant at all, but like, I think what Theon is doing is a huge part of what's to come in the show. But one of the things they kind of brought back with the Greyjoy plotline was the idea of like paying the iron price, like Theon's immediate reaction to Sir Neckbeard being disrespectful to him was like, oh, we're going to put him in prison. And Theon's second in command was like, no, that guy's got to pay the iron price. That's the Greyjoy way.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
He's got to pay for it.
Yeah, and he's just all kissing up to, I don't know. It's just so disheartening, because he's not going to get anything from the Greyjoys. He's just not. It's just like so obvious, but he's trying, yet he's not really doing the best. And he is not a person that can do well with power. You can just tell.
And yet it seems like they raise a good point with this idea that like you have to pay the iron price for what you do. Like there are consequences to your actions, and like they have to be costly. And in the world of Game of Thrones, I feel like so far there's a lot of evidence to support that being a rule, not just for the Greyjoys, but for like all of Westeros.
No, it's very true.
So I was wondering what you were thinking about that. Like, does that apply to everybody?
Unfortunately, I feel it honestly does, but it's just sad. The thing with it is Theon has already worked himself into a point where he couldn't get out without something terrible happening. But it's very true. I mean, we saw it with Ned Stark. He paid the iron price.
It is.
Because, like, if you waver at all, there's always going to be somebody that steps in sooner than you. Same thing with Daenerys across the sea. She was just like, I'm going to talk to everybody, and eventually someone's going to listen to me. No, she had dragons, and she blatantly is like, they're going to take over the world, and she expected like all these powerful people to not just like step in on her little helpless baby dragons.
Yeah.
I mean, like you see it like time and time again. Anyone who shows any kind of weakness or any kind of even just mild hesitation. You even see that with Robb, where he's all like, we're going back to Winterfell, and his second in command is like, no, we need to keep our advantage, because if we go back, we're going to lose everything that we worked for up to this point. It's just like literally everywhere.
Yeah. How likely do you think it is that Theon will pay the iron price for what's going on?
Oh, he did. As soon as Neckbeard died, he did.
So, okay.
Although it's funny because I understand it is a catch-22 because like he paid the iron price to be where he is, but at the same time, it's going to come to bite him in the arse.
Yes, but okay, like this didn't start when he like went to Winterfell. This started when he went back home, you know? Yeah. Like he got put into a bad situation from the get-go, and that's how he got there. And then on top of it, like maybe things would have worked out well for him after all that, after dealing with the humiliation of being home, and then finally maybe doing something right by taking Winterfell. And then he loses Bran and Rickon at the very end of the episode.
And that's like the big thing because he loses big pieces. Good job, you got a castle. That doesn't mean a darn thing, especially when you're in the middle of enemy territory without their leaders.
Yep, and they're gone.
They're poof. I mean, like
not only that, but they're gone because Osha. Basically hit him where he was weak, which she knew he had a weakness for the ladies, and then she's like,
and he got played. And
this.
The best part about it is how's he going to explain this away? How's he going to do it?
Oh, I'm sorry. The wildling tricked me by having sex with me.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and that's beautiful because you can tell like his views are going to be the same, if not even like more than his family's. They're just going to look at him like you are a joke, even more than usual.
I know. I just can't wait until Yara shows up.
Oh my gosh,
she's just like,
oh
you
man,
done goofed again.
Get ready for all the sick burns. Get out the aloe. There's going to be some sick burns.
Speaking of sick burns, I do want to talk about our newest female addition to the cast with Ygritte in the North. She had quite a few sick burns for Jon Snow.
Yes.
This episode. What were your general impressions of Ygritte?
Well, my general impression was as soon as she showed her face, I'm like, well, you don't hire an actor to show their face to get murdered.
I mean, maybe you do. It's Game of Thrones.
Maybe you do, but I just didn't.
Sean Bean, come on.
Stop. He's Sean Bean. It's his equation. Yeah, Ygritte's not going to. I don't know what Ygritting is.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm not looking up an Urban Dictionary either.
It's probably really foul.
Anyways, but yeah, as soon as I'm like, the ship has already sailed. As soon as the hood was unveiled, the ship had sailed.
Yep. Yes, it is now the RMS Jon and Ygritte.
It's like so very obvious, but I feel like it's going to be great because if he can get into wildling culture, that's something I'd very much like to see, because otherwise it's just going to be like, here's all these things where he sneaks up on and murders wildlings. Great story plot.
And yet someone who's functioning kind of like a love interest for Jon Snow spells a lot of trouble in a lot of different ways.
For everything. Because it goes against his oath. It goes against the fact that they pretty much just detest wildlings as a rule.
Plus, like Jon and his stupid loyalties, like in honor and all that stuff. He's got that Ned Stark syndrome a little bit. Where he's just loyal to a fault.
But it's not good.
Yes. So where do you think that's going to lead Jon?
He's probably going to become a rogue rager. I honestly think that this is going to end terribly for him. I don't know if he'll be able to go back to the Wall, and poor Sam is just going to cry himself to sleep at night because he's not going to have his best friend anymore.
How sad.
Or maybe he'll just go along with him. I don't know.
Or maybe they'll all be murdered.
Samwise powers.
By White Walkers.
No. Stop. Not okay. Although I feel like it's very poignant that she points out that they need to burn the bodies, which terrifies me. It's like, oh my gosh, does every last dead person that's not beheaded come back to haunt people?
Well, I love how she says that. Like, she's like, if you don't do this cleanly, like, I'll come back and haunt you, basically.
Yeah, and the funny thing with it is like, she's saying all these things and it's just like, oh no. Oh man, they know
she's very
exactly
concerned
what's happening.
Too that like after she dies that she gets her corpse burned.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to be like them, because obviously I know what it's like.
Which is funny because like all of the Night's Watch people were kind of in denial about that until like the end of season 1.
But yeah, it's totally that they're rallying to get the crap out of there because there's some weird mojo magic.
Yeah, she mentioned that they're all rallying together. There's thousands of them. And then
to see wildlings get together, like these nomadic people that just, basically live lives of barbarians because they have to, not because they're necessarily bad people.
It's the great, terrible North,
Yeah, you got to kill to survive. It's understandable. But the fact that they're getting scared and leaving en masse goes to show stuff is not great.
No.
There's a storm coming.
Yes, winter is coming.
Yeah, zombie storms. It's going to be like Zombie NATO, and it's going to come on through, and they're going to be like,
Zombie NATO.
no.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or it's like a really terrible zombie El Nino that's coming up or something.
The zombie El Nino. Ooh, or a zombalanche.
Zombalanche? That
Sort
just
of
sounds like there's like thousands of zombie bodies.
Yeah, sort of like what was in World War Z, like where they're all
let's not talk about
crowded
that.
all up on top of people.
We don't talk about crappy movies when we're talking about good television.
All you have to see is the commercials because it's all over it. You just see like people moving in waves. And it's like, that's not how people work, but they're zombies. Okay, film directors.
Yeah, no. Okay, let's talk about good things. Let's talk about Daenerys because we like Daenerys.
Okay.
So I love that moment where she kind of like cracks in this episode a little bit when she's seeing
you
the
have
spice
to imagine
merchant.
that big old Boss Okarth is like hitting on her 24/7.
Dextrous
She's just
Couscous.
like, she's so done.
I love how
him.
he's like, every time like they go to meet somebody, he's like, this could be all solved if you just married me. And then she's like,
no.
lol, nope.
No, well, now she's getting to like, it's funny. They almost have like an old couple vibe.
A little bit. Yes. And then he's like, you're far too beautiful to be a widow forever. And then she's like, and you're far too smart to think I'll succumb to flattery. And he's like,
no woman that will not succumb to flattery.
Yes.
And she rolls her eyes.
She rolls her eyes. Yes.
It's perfect.
But one of the things I love about when she finally kind of loses it at the spice merchant's place is she says, like, listen, I'm not a normal person because I didn't get burned. I had a dream if I lit my eggs on fire that they would have dragons flying out of them. And it happened.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, come on. Good investment right here. And he's like, no, bye.
No, which, I don't know. I guess I'm suspicious of everyone, so I shouldn't necessarily believe that it's him.
I'm just curious, though. Do you think in this case, this particular instance with Daenerys, like, if every dream she has gonna come true, including the dream of eventually sitting on the throne in Westeros, or is this just bluster for her? Is she just acting out here?
I feel as if she lost a lot of her purpose, and this is what she has left, and it's unfortunate because I don't even know if she would necessarily want. Like, I feel like she'd be like one of those, like a dog chasing a car, and she like finally catches the car. What would it even do with it? What's she even gonna do when she
she has been told like all of her life though, like the throne is her birthright, like it belongs in the Targaryens'
But the thing
hands.
with it is I feel so bad for her because she's gonna come across the sea and it's gonna be like, oh man, and the only reason she's gonna get people is due to fear because they'll be like, holy crap, a Targaryen has freaking dragons, which she doesn't even have right now, which was pretty much her sell point.
It was
so
her
if she goes
point.
over there, she's basically gonna be like, the first person to see her is gonna be like, oh yeah, we'll help you out, like get her into a bedroom and just like straight up murder her.
Yeah, I see. It's weird because there's like such a sneaky game going on in like Westeros, and the game is sneaky over where she is in Essos, but it's like a different kind of sneaky. It's like
Totes different.
Yeah, and like I just don't know how well Daenerys would be at like the other game. She's kind of like a little bit like the inverse Ned Stark a little bit, where Ned was just like, oh, we have to be honorable, and Daenerys would be like, I'm going to burn you if you don't fall in line.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's the thing. It's unfortunate because a lot of where her merits came from is the fact that she worked for what she got, but now, rather than going by her own merits, she's falling back on, like, her bloodlines. Like, I am a Targaryen, I am a Targaryen, I am a Targaryen.
And everyone's like, so what?
Yeah, exactly, because that's the truth of the matter. So what?
Yeah.
Your brother was a Targaryen. What did he get?
He got a golden
gold.
crown. Yep, he did.
Yeah, I don't know. It makes me not even just a little bit, more like a lot bit scared for her.
And then, of course, there is the inevitable loss of her dragons at the end of the episode, which really robs her of a lot of what she was talking about earlier and a lot of credence she had to a lot of her ideas, So we have a case here of a whodunit, I feel like, at the end of this episode. So initial thoughts. Who done it?
Oh my gosh.
Who stole the dragons?
The thing of it is knowing the show, it's probably someone that's been introduced. It would be sort of weirder than The Blind Side is with somebody else. But there's so many things. Like, I could honestly see Blue Badabadidoo.
Dextrous Couscous.
Yeah, that guy.
Zohan Duxus.
Zippity doo da ba doo ba doo, taking like her dragons through some other like person.
But would
to,
he
like,
murder his own people and Daenerys' people inside his own estate to do that?
Maybe.
You said that so like, yeah, so I mean, I'm so glad that you finally adjusted to what Game of Thrones is like.
No, I see. Listen, when he walked into things, just like, honestly, that was my first thought when he walks in there. Is like, I've done some things to get my hands dirty. I don't really mind doing this kind of stuff. I could see him killing maybe a dozen guards and like one of her handmaids and taking her dragons.
But it was also her Dothraki
else.
people too. Like, you saw a couple of her
Dothrakis.
Her Dothraki.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know.
there.
I don't know. I guess that's not necessarily the best thought through plan, but like, your obvious one is like El Spiso Man,
The Spice guy.
Yeah.
And then you have like the parlor trick wizards from the last
there's
episode.
parlor trick wizards, but that's the thing, and I don't know. They still could pull out that it's like some other unrelated party, or it's just something weird, or maybe it's, let's just go on crazy theories. Dragons are fire, so why not fire ladies contacts?
Ooh, that one's a far off one.
But I don't know.
Which is true. We didn't see her at all.
Like, that's the thing, because the more we get into it, the more we realize everyone somehow has their thumbs in Essos. So
true, the Lannisters did, and that's why no one would help her.
Exactly.
Too.
There's almost no one that you cannot suspect when dragons becomes a thing.
Right. Though, yeah, I could see that. All right, so let's move into our weekly wrap-up questions here, because I feel like we could talk forever about this episode. There's so many neat things going on, but right now we need to talk. We need to wrap this up. Stark of the week. I feel like we saw basically everybody who's still alive in Stark camp. So, who was the Stark of the week this week?
Rickon, just kidding.
Oh,
for the four cuts.
Is Rickon ever gonna get it? Let's be honest here.
No, not until like, I don't know when.
Okay, fine. So who gets it?
Ghost.
No, you can't say a direwolf. It has to be a Stark.
Boo.
I mean, okay, so you have Robb, who's doing war things.
No, it's Arya. It's Arya.
Of course it's Arya.
Of course it's Arya. That's the thing. I was trying to think, why can I justify that it's not Arya? I can't. It's Arya.
I mean, Catelyn gives some pretty sound advice this episode, though.
Yeah, but she always gives sound advice. It wasn't
because that's just what Catelyn does. Yeah,
she was playing like super mom. She's like, you can't love her, and the entire show was like, why not?
Yes,
everyone was like,
he literally had a "mom, please" line in there, kind of.
Mom, please. And he's like, no, honey, you have to marry who you're betrothed to, and hopefully she's the pretty one.
Hopefully she's the pretty one. Okay, I mean, yeah, Arya definitely has I
love
sequence.
Her interactions with Tywin.
Yes,
they're becoming some of my favorite sequences.
It's so interesting, and I love it. I mean, it's not in the books, and it's just so fascinating because it's so like
good.
You know, it's two people who like are clearly
mortal enemies.
Yeah, they're clear. Well, I mean, obviously that, but then like on top of that, like they can have this very like interesting, very measured conversation, and like Tywin is like,
knows and she knows.
Yeah, it's like, but like Tywin's like entertaining this notion of like maybe talking to this girl who isn't all that she says she is, and like Arya's like flirting with disaster the whole time that she's there.
But the thing with this is she kind of can't not, but she's doing it tactfully, which is phenomenal.
Oh, I know. Yeah. So I would give her wicked props for that. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. Let's move on to the crown then. Based upon who played the game the best this episode, who would you give the crown to this episode? Because there's a lot of people who have made a lot of smart decisions, and there's a lot of people who have made
drugged
some really
up Frodo
bad
Baggins
decisions. Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
You're giving it to Osha?
Yeah. She played the most straight game, and she got
didn't
exactly
see that
what
one
she
coming.
wanted. she got exactly what she wanted. Listen, there are so few people in this that can actually take a win at face value, and she totally did.
I mean, that's true. She played Theon
She 100%
really well.
destroyed him. And
I love that scene where she first bows down to him, and then she's like, "Oh, please let me serve you. Put a spear in my hands, and I will fight for you." And then he's like, "Lol,
no, you're
nope.
gonna stab me." And she's like, "Well, it was worth a shot."
Yes.
I don't know. Her approach is just so great because she's so straightforward, and she does it until she gets what she wants, and it worked. Like, that's the thing. There are very few plans in this where you can say, this is a great plan, because typically the next episode it rolls around, and it was an awful plan. So
True.
This is one of the few times where I can, without hesitation, say that it was her.
Okay, well, speaking of plans, best plan moving forward, worst plan moving forward. You've already kind of hinted that maybe Osha's is the best plan.
Now, I don't think it's
forward.
necessarily the best plan. I think it's the one that's deserving of the crown because it actually worked.
Okay, this episode. Okay, so what about moving forward, like into the next episode? I mean, it's hard to tell, like Daenerys, it's pretty obvious that she's going to go on a rampage until she finds who stole her dragons.
Exactly. Well, honestly, to be fair, it's kind of going to be an amorphous worst plan. The worst plan was taking Daenerys' dragons from her.
Oh, okay. That's great. I like that.
Like, I don't know who or how they did it, but that was absolutely dumb.
Okay, so that's the worst plan. Who has the best plan, though? I'm just curious who you think, because there's a lot of people who have sort of presented like, I want to do this
crap, because
and you're not quite sure how it's going to work out
because
the episode ends.
I can only really like gauge it by bad ones, because like Jon Snow's are the second to worst, and like I'm only gauging them by like really bad ones.
Okay, well, let's talk about some of the other plans then. Tyrion sending
good?
Myrcella away. That's one.
Honestly, I do think that's good, but what's bad about that is it's bad for him, because I feel like it's going to come back to him and Shay. But honestly, if I have to look at overall goodness, while Cersei may be throwing a royal tantrum, I honestly still do believe that Tyrion did the best thing by her.
Which is sending Myrcella off to the island of Dorne.
Yeah, to the island of, it's far away from the
island
madness.
of far away from war.
Yeah, the island of everyone else is going to be conquered, but they will literally feel none of the repercussions. Except for, like, maybe the flags will change.
Okay, so he sends her away. So is that best plan that's going to work out the best for Tyrion, or is that going to
work out the best
for her,
for
Princess Myrcella?
The Lannister family?
Okay.
I do it as a whole. I don't think it's going to go... That's the thing. It's like a double-edged sword, because it's not going to go great for Tyrion, because Cersei now has a vendetta, and we all know how that turns out.
Yeah.
But... for
even
the
though it's a
Lannister
really
families,
pointless
and the
vendetta.
funny thing about it is it's honestly going to be good for Cersei in the long run. Maybe it's not what she wanted for her daughter, but it's going to be
she
about
just
the
wants
best
her
choice.
babies near her at all times.
Yeah, well, listen.
I mean, look how well it's working out for her and Joffrey.
Maybe she wants another chance not to F up.
I mean,
you got one more chance not to F up Cersei.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she's got Tommen left still. And it's so sad when you see Tom in this episode. He's crying and he doesn't
because
get it.
Because his sister's nice and he doesn't get it. Because that's the thing. You're right when they say in the books and like in the actual story they're supposed to be a lot younger, but they get older actors, because like you can't just make a toddler stand there and cry.
Yeah.
But that's what he's actually supposed to kind of be, which we don't quite get, because some people who object to be like, yeah, he's a crying baby. But
well, that's what Joffrey was like.
Well, yeah, but Joffrey's an a-hole.
Joffrey was just like, why are you crying?
Why do you have emotions?
And Sansa's
all I have is rage and killing.
My brother cried when we left Winterfell, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, your brother's not a prince, so it's no comparison.
Yeah, if he's not a prince, he can GTFO.
And then she was just like, gosh.
This guy's awful.
Yeah, that's like her all the time.
Yeah, no,
that was
she's
a really terrible Sansa voice, by the way.
I know. I'm mocking your mocking of the Sansa voice.
I can't do a Sansa voice.
I think it's a great voice. Let's do the rest of the podcast in it.
No, let's not.
Why?
Because it's really strange.
Oh, what does this remind me of? It's kind of like salad fingers or something.
No, it's more like Kim from the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh my God, that's right. Hello, Powerpuff Girls. Yes. We found our podcast voice.
No, let's not do that ever again.
We're doing that every time we have to talk like a girl character.
Yeah, let's not do that ever again. In fact, if you were listening to this, just forget that last 5 seconds.
It's in the Podscape. So. It's in the Podscape.
No,
it's there forever.
No,
the Podcastscape.
Oh gosh, well, let's just move on before
the horror sets in.
Before I shame.
There comes the bile.
Okay, so every week I have to ask you how hopeful you are on a scale of 1 to 10. This week, it's going to be really tough. And just so that you guys are aware of the background on this, we finished watching the episode, and Zach literally threw the contents of his pockets out all over the floor.
All of them, everywhere.
In rage.
I just kept on finding things to find, and I was like, wow, I have a lot of things in my pockets, because I have a lot of pockets, because I still was wearing my scrubs.
Yeah, he had all of his nursing junk in there, and it was just flying everywhere. And I was like, whoa, okay.
Don't worry, it wasn't like violent against the wall. It was just sort of like this sort of dejected and almost angry, like, throw out of my pockets.
I've never seen someone express their rage that way, Zach, so thank you for that.
Yeah, you enjoyed every bit of it, and that's kind of what made me keep doing it, because it made me feel worse every time. You monster. He feeds off of my sorrow.
Back to the point, okay? Scale of 1 to 10.
4.5.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it a lot.
I agree. The blow of losing the dragons is...
Like, dragons, like, Winterfell's gone. Like, everything is just falling to pieces, especially since when I go back to my hopeful, I typically go back to Camp Stark, and they're just getting pooped on.
Yeah. I mean, Rob met a nice girl that he can't have. Arya's talking with Tywin.
Which is... that'd be a great
Tywin.
Morning show.
Yes. Arya and Tywin have a morning show.
The morning show.
Yes.
The most awkward thing where she tries to have as little contact with him as possible, and he tries to bring up relevant events, but it's only about his family. It runs for half a season.
And she's just trying to hide her secret identity the whole time. So today we're going to talk about what's going on in the Middle East, which has nothing to do with the Starks at all.
But about my battle plan. It's like about my family. We're a good family, a strong family.
Did I mention that my father was a mason who taught me to read?
A stonemason who died due to loyalty. A lot like my father.
I mean, yes, my father died.
Oh, boy.
Gosh.
Yeah, that would be... It would be good for one episode, and then it would turn into something that would be like you'd have to watch in like your closet for shame of other people seeing you. It's one of those shows. I have many of them.
We don't need to go there, Zach. It's fine.
Cool. You justified that. Everything. Now I feel better. I will come out of the closet and say that I watch all the anime.
No. Darn it, Zach, why did you have to do that?
Nope, it's been done. The healing has started.
Okay, we're going to move on again.
I will digress until my digressions make a digression river.
Well, if you have been watching with us, it has been a interesting journey so far through season 2 of Game of Thrones. It is... getting darker and deeper for Zach, and if you've watched the show before, you know what I'm talking about. So we'd love to hear from you. You can connect with us in a couple ways. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave a comment. If you've got a question for Zach that's really good, a leading question that's definitely
not spoilerific,
but you know the kinds of questions because I've been asking.
Or you could ask me. You can always open up old wounds. Be like, hey Zach,
why not?
Hey, Zach, how many tears did you shed when the first direwolf died? And the answer to that is 3. 3 exact tears.
3 exact tears. There you go. So yeah, if you have a question, you can leave it there in the comment section on YouTube. And please like and subscribe, too. You can also find this podcast on iTunes if you are listening to this on YouTube. And you can connect with us on Twitter and our Tumblr. Our Twitter is @UsefulNPCs. So you can always connect with us there. So yeah, there's a lot of ways you can connect with us. Yeah. And we'd love to hear from you.
Definitely send us all the fan arts of things like "Hang in there, dire wolf" over Joffrey's neck.
I'd love to see that.
I need it.
Yeah, I would hang that on my wall. I
would hang that on my body.
Creepy. Okay.
Like I would get it tattooed on me.
So yeah, and then. If you are interested in other stuff on our YouTube channel, we do some gaming videos. Mm-hmm. So be sure to check all that stuff out too. So yeah, Zach, we're speeding right through here on season 2.
Can you just lie to me and tell me it's going to get better?
Okay, let me tell you how it all ends then. Okay, so there's a big battle. But when, like, the swords clash, like, nothing bad happens, just rainbows fly everywhere. And the rainbows fly all over the world, and they heal all the wounds and bring all the dead people back to life. And then it's spring forever.
Wait, there's zombies. This isn't good.
No, the zombies are... they're brought really back to life. Like, it's not like zombies. It's like... Okay. It's like, in fact, they're better than they were before.
Oh, but like,
Khal Drogo's not poisoned anymore.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking like some sort of like they come back as superheroes. Oh man.
Yeah. And everybody has a dance party. And they use the skulls of Lannisters as their drums.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like the Ewoks.
Yes.
This is gonna be the best. Yep. I'm excited. Let's watch another episode. I want to be uplifted. That smile is terrifying. For a second there, I could dream.
I think I'll leave you like that, because that was just too perfect.
Now I'm crying worse than if you told me the truth.
Well, goodbye.
There's no dragons to be with you.
There are not this episode.